everybody has a limited budget for their B2B website update. And getting the maximum return on that investment requires you to be really strategic and intentional about where you invest and spend that money. Likelihood is that you won't have enough budget to do all of the things that you want to do or all of the things that you should do to an equal and desirable level. So it's important to identify what matters in terms of the objective that you've got for your website and what is a nice to have or an unnecessity that you can do without when it comes to achieving your goal, business growth, pipeline generation, etc. So some of the typical ways that businesses can start to approach this is to think about, well, what is the role of the website in our go-to-market? What therefore matters about it? And whose opinions, needs, and views should we prioritize? And the answer to that question is always the buyer, not the internal stakeholders, not the CMO, not the CEO, or anyone else. This podcast is brought to you by Blend, the HubSpot website agency. Your website is your most valuable marketing asset, and so it's crucial that you get it right. We're the specialist HubSpot website agency helping businesses create effective, scalable websites that drive real results. See examples of our work and the impact we've delivered for businesses just like yours at blendb2b.com. If you want to maximize the return on your website investment, then the key is to figure out the best ways to spend that money. The reality is that most website budgets won't be large enough to deliver all of the things that the business wants and needs and desires from its website projects. So it's really important to prioritize and to optimize around the goals and the KPIs and the outcomes that you seek. Of course, the role of the website in go-to-market is to turn visitors into opportunities in your pipeline. It's to generate high-intent leads, pipeline opportunities, and revenue. And those should be the axes along which you optimize your allocation of budget and your spend. At all times, you want to be optimizing for the people that matter most when it comes to the design, the structure, the content, and the approach to your website. And of course, that's the buyer in every instance, not internal stakeholders, not your own team, not even yourself. Optimizing for the buyer is critical. Optimizing the website for your buyer and the consumption and discovery of the content that they care about is far more important than flashy animation, glossy design, bespoke illustration, content that isn't sought by buyers on their journey into the pipeline. So you want to be prioritizing product, solution, and service content over use cases, verticals, and sectors. Logical, attractive, mutually beneficial calls to action and conversion points that align with what buyers want from your sales process as opposed to what you wish they would want from you when it comes to converting. These are all ways to ensure that you're approaching your website project from the right point of view, from the right perspective, and putting your budget into the things that are going to drive the biggest impact. You can come back later with additional budget if you want to embellish or enhance or build out your site. In the vast majority of cases, when it comes to driving ROI from a website investment, bigger is not necessarily better. A smaller website that more accurately, more specifically, and more intentionally ticks off the requirements that buyers have of a B2B website when they're making a purchase is going to deliver a bigger impact than anything else you can dream up as a team internally. A lot of businesses will approach a website project from the point of view of, we need to update our website, replace our website, and here's the budget we have available to do it. They potentially miss the huge benefit and impact that comes from properly strategizing what their website should look like, what it should contain, and what it should do, and what its user experience should offer. Performing thorough website performance analysis in terms of how is it found, by who, by how many people, what their journey through that website looks like, is a really important step to inform yourself and ready yourself to create a high impact website when you do invest in updating one. Keyword research, SEO data, your positions, your rank, how you compete, all vitally important if you want your website to be a component in your SEO success when you launch a new website. And user experience analytics in terms of heat maps, in terms of customer journeys, in terms of session recordings, can all help to really hone your understanding of what your new website should look like, what it should contain, and how it should be designed and built to facilitate the buyer's journey into your pipeline. Something that companies can sometimes overlook when they're launching into their new website project is the critical role of their brand in the end result. We design, write, and develop websites every day, and we understand as a result that the single largest input into the process that determines how satisfied stakeholders are with the output is the current brand, the current identity, the current positioning, the current messaging, and the current tone of voice. These are all pivotal. They're the guiding lights that determine how everybody else approaches the process of producing this website. So something that's worth considering before you set a budget, before you begin a website project, is our brand currently up to the task? Is this brand reflective of us? Is it modern enough? Is it attractive to buyers? Does it communicate our essence, our value proposition, our reason for being effectively enough? If it doesn't, no website you get as a result of your investment is going to truly satisfy you or have the biggest impact on your audience. It's okay to go into a website project knowing which of your competitors' websites you like, which other websites in your category or in your industry or even outside of it you like, and using those to inform yourself and potentially even your partners in developing a new website. But it's important to limit the degree to which you trust what they're doing is an approach that you should consider applying yourself. Ultimately, when it comes to a competitor's website, you almost never know what budget they required to get to the result that you're viewing online and simply deciding whether you like it or dislike it. Often, the websites that are cited in these kind of conversations come at a significant budget that a lot of businesses don't have available for their website. So you need to bear that in mind. Secondly, just because those websites are doing things that you like doesn't mean that they're working in the context of go-to-market. And furthermore, none of them are based on your brand, communicating what you offer. And you deserve something that's unique to you and optimized for your solution and your buyer. And so competitors' websites are a great way to think about and inform yourself before you go into the project, but don't make them the goal to achieve. Don't try to emulate. Don't supply them as a pattern to be followed. It's unfair on you, and it's unfair on the people that are building the website for you too. Do your own thing, go your own way, be yourselves, and you'll get a better result. The number one culprit in terms of wasted investment in B2B websites is audience-based content. It's very attractive to internal stakeholders, irresistible almost, to have large sections of your website designed to communicate use cases, personas, sectors, verticals, etc. So often it's a large, if not the largest portion of a requested sitemap, but buyers don't care for it. It's been proven again and again, probably in your own existing data, certainly by industry experts like Nielsen Norman, and we've seen it in the data of the websites we've built over the years. Buyers are not attracted to content about them or for them. They're interested in your product, your solution, and what you offer. So if you're spending 50% of your budget building a section that buyers are not going to frequent and use, that budget could go to so much better use, creating original content, doing your strategy, or refining the parts of your website that buyers are going to use to generate more pipeline. So that's the number one way businesses waste their budget when it comes to their website. Ideally, you want your investment to produce a product that serves you over the long run, i.e. something that you can build on, something that you can evolve, and something that doesn't degrade or become hard to work with and use. And it's something that's quite often overlooked when considering where to spend your money and who with, the focus being on the front end, understandably. But It's important to consider the long-term editing experience of your users, the flexibility of both the platform that you build on, the code that's delivered for you, the modules, templates, and themes that make your website up. So when considering your investment, who to partner with, what you're looking for, think not only about the front end, what the buyer will see, think not only about that and the back-end code performance, which is important, core web vitals, page load speed. Think also about the middle, what it will be like to work with as a team over the months and years that follow, because that's really where ROI is made.